Okay. I need a motion to reconvene in open session, please.
So moved.
It's been moved.
Second.
Seconded. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
I'm an aye as well. Motion carries 401. We have Pledge of Allegiance. Flags over there. Ready? Begin. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. I need a motion to approve the agenda, please.
So moved.
It's been moved.
Second.
Second. Any additions, changes to the agenda, board members? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
I'm an aye as well. Motion carries 401. Announcement of actions taken in closed session. The board gave direction on negotiations with both bargaining units, STA and CSEA. Individuals desiring to address the board, we have one slip tonight. It's Stephen McMurtry, and you got 3 minutes once we get going. There's the dais right there, the podium. Timer ready?
You need to go ahead and press the button and light the mic. There you go. There you go.
There you go.
So at the last meeting, I had a question for the board, and it had to do with the building fund, and I still haven't got a response from anybody. So I was surprised that somebody didn't at least contact me to give me an answer. I'm still questioning the building fund. I kind of understand at the last board meeting why it's zeroed out, because I guess the funds haven't been released from the county or something like that. So that's going to come sooner or later, I guess. But another item is on the building fund is books and supplies are not part of the bond issue. That can't, if you spend any money on books and supplies, it's got to be replaced back into the building fund. The $80,000, that's been on there for 2.5 years. What is that? And why is that there? It's under budget for $80,000. Another thing too is the $254,000 that has to be replaced into the building fund, that has to be done. I had a conversation with the superintendent of schools at the Monterey County, and if that's not replaced in the building fund as we discussed in the past, then I'm supposed to report back to them. So that needs to be done. As far as the books and supplies, that's per Education Code 15100 of the bond measure. And I think that's all I have. So if anybody tonight would like to explain what that's about, I'd really appreciate it.
Okay, moving on. Recognition.
Yeah, tonight we're thrilled to have Miss Colombo. Miss Colombo is our 6th grade science teacher at Buena Vista. Last spring when I was serving as principal, she came up and pitched an idea about having a mentor program. And it sounded great, so go with it. And that was pretty much the end of my involvement. And she built it from the ground up. She recruited the kids, the t-shirts, the trainings over the summers. Kate has seen it in action this year.
Yeah, we had our new student tours and all of our 6th graders come on campus early this year before school started. Usually I'm solo on that. This year I had all my mentors join us with Mrs. Colombo leading the way, and it was really nice, and I think probably more motivating for the kids coming in to hear the tour from the students and hear the perspective of going around and who your teacher can be, and the excitement was there, and a lot of that was due to the mentor program. And then on the first day of school, we had all the mentors out there with maps, walking kids to class. Everything just felt more relaxed and calm, and students who were nervous were able to get a buddy right away. So I have the mentor program today for that. So
And we'd like to ask Miss Colombo and Jesse, the linker. I guess you guys call the linkers? Okay, it's called Link Mentors. So, if you wouldn't mind coming up, Jesse, or if you want to give her some moral support. And Veronica's going to flip through a bunch of slides as she speaks. It's not going to go slide by slide, but you'll get an idea of just how much work's gone into this program.
Yeah, so hi, I'm Kendall Colombo. I teach 6th grade science, and this is Jessie. She's one of my mentors. So I have 21 mentors. She's one of 21. Unfortunately, not everyone could make it, But the slides you see behind me are part of the training. So 2 days over the summer, the mentors came in and volunteered their time. They did tours, and then we had about a 4-hour training session before the first day of school. In addition to that, now they spend each afternoon with me for 30 minutes, right? Besides Wednesdays, they don't see me on Wednesdays. But this Friday, tomorrow, will be our first day going into the 6th grade study halls. So we're gonna work on soft skills, organization, checking school-wise, study skills, and then this week we've been working on writing a 6th grade survival guide. So how to survive at PP is what they said, but they've been doing a really great job. I have run mentor programs in the past before I moved, and so when I was part of the LCAP committee, I saw such a need for articulation from the elementary school to the middle school, and I saw a lot of feedback from parents like, we don't talk about soft skills enough, we don't take enough time, and so who better to learn the skills from than other successful students that we've had in the past. So there were teacher recommendations, requirements in terms of grades and other things, and a whole application process and a little interview that went into them being a mentor. And they've all just exceeded my expectations, given me new ideas on what we can do for the program, and so we're really excited to continue it, and hopefully my 7th graders want to do it again as 8th graders, but they've just been super awesome, and I've been talking to Mrs. Sherpinski and Mrs. Pagran and Mr. Turallo on how to expand it and how to make it better, but it's been great. Yeah, we're happy to be recognized, so they did all the work.
Is it thumbs up, thumbs down? You like the program? We don't want to put you on the spot unless you want to.
Yeah, I really like the mentor program. It's a great program for incoming 6th graders who just need a buddy to help them with their 6th grade year, whether it's getting from class to class or to help with study skills. It's just a great program that I love Miss Colombo is doing.
Could you have used one last year as a 6th grader?
No, I wish I had one last year.
That's what I figured. Thank you both for coming.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, bargaining presentations, STA? Anything tonight from STA? No. Oh, no. This is just general comments from bargaining units, yeah. If you want to bargain, I guess we could, but probably shouldn't.
Yeah.
I think as a semi-domesticated 60-year-old, I might think the best euphemism for how we've started is ironing out the wrinkles. So familiar with ironing, getting more and more common with, or familiar with wrinkles. But we've had a few hiccups, but there are a bunch of enthusiastic students. The sports have started, great turnout there. Students are, there's just we're approaching normalcy again, and that feels good. I think some of the newness of the dressing out for PE is it'll take a little work. I got a kick out of a couple of students in the last couple of days. We had set up some partitions just as a kind of an extra precaution, not thinking it would be kind of a little hobbit hole where somebody would go change, but bless this kid's heart, he'd been in there an awful long time, and I'm on the outside just trying to monitor, and finally go on in and, come on, you guys need to hurry up now, it's been a while, and he's in a hurry and he runs out and his shorts are on backwards, but we'll get the hang of it. Kid was pretty upset that he didn't have his water bottle, and I didn't have the key for the exterior door to go get it, but it's working out, and the kids are enthused, so I think we're off to a good start.
Thank you. Anybody from CSEA tonight? I don't see anybody. No. Okay, board member comments. I'll start down at the end with Mike.
No comments, thank you.
Stephanie.
Just welcome to the new school year to everybody. There's a lot of excitement. I've been seeing it on campus, and I'm looking forward to a successful year. And hopefully, everybody is excited and looking forward to becoming more engaged. I know there's been a lot of announcements about a lot of activities and opportunities for families to become engaged in the school district, and so I hope people will take advantage of those opportunities. Thank you.
You have any comments?
I
Sure.
do.
Yeah, your turn.
I go. Okay, so I always need something to look forward to. This is a 3-day weekend. We've made it. The 3-day weekend, our first break. The other thing I hope that we all look forward to is Eric and I had a conversation this morning about an enrichment opportunity. Ariel Theater has offered to let us do a Spreckels night, well, possibly 2, depending on how it goes. But it would be October 26th and October 27th, or one of those, or both of those dates. And they had put those aside to do a Wrinkle in Time. So the kids there would do a Wrinkle in Time for our district kids. Yeah, so I hope that's something everyone would look forward to and really want. We need enrichment. Theater's really important. It's great all around to expose our kids to theater. So, yeah, that's it. Thank you.
As for myself, I was here for the opening day. Actually, I was here for welcome back for staff. That was quite a spread and quite a turnout, and thanks to the parents. And was it SUEF that put that on, or
it was
PTA?
Bobcat and
Club?
PTO kind of
Well,
collaborated.
thanks. Shout out to them. Nice spread. Thanks a lot. And for supporting that. And then a couple days later, opening up of school here in front. No bubbles this year, but I'll get over it. Teresa, I'll get over that. And that being said, it was a nice opening, and it was normal, except for no bubbles. Bubbles are overrated. And I know I'm going to visit the sites later in the trimester, maybe closer
it's on the
to the
calendar.
end. I feel like it's early October, but don't hold me to that. So I'll be floating around with Eric, maybe in a month or so. We'll see you then. Oral and written communications, I don't think the board has any per se, is that correct?
Correct.
Okay, moving on. To reports, superintendent's report.
Yeah, so I'm kind of doing a visual report tonight, and I want to just kind of piggyback on what Steve said, that it really does feel like a return to normal, almost pre-pandemic. And the kids, it feels good. The first picture is what it's all about. That is Mr. Price with his transitional kindergarten class on the first day of school, posing behind the sign. And for me, that's kind of just a reminder of why we do what we do. You know, they're 4 years old, 4 and 5. Mr. Price is with Mrs. Castillo because, as you know, the TK ratio requires the 2 adults, and I think Mr. Price would say that's probably good to have that extra adult with 4-year-olds. So, again, we start there. I watched the fire drill, and I watched the 4-year-olds Teresa go to the fire drill, and that was humor. Next, this is the first day, this is the first Friday, and this, again, feels like we're getting back to normal. This is, Teresa goes over some of the rules of the playground about when the bell goes off, they stop, right? So she did that through dance, and they would dance to music and all of a sudden stop. It was just really great to see that, and how she reinforces those skills. To the right is what happened later Friday. They had their first dance party, and that's Mr. Price and our new other TK teacher teaching the 4-year-olds how to dance. So next is what has been a huge hit. So we finally finished the BV project. I think the fences came down literally the day before, and it's a hit. Number one, it's such a safety upgrade. That's like an additional benefit. This was not a safety project, but what it's done is it's taken that congestion from the pavilion. If you've ever been there during the day, during a break or lunch, that congestion in the pavilion, Ms. Colombo can tell us it's dangerous there. She got hit with the ball last year. But now that it's moved to this area, and the kids love it. There's 2 ball walls that will have murals soon. We couldn't get the mural list in before school, but we also wanted to open it up. What are some of the big features?
3 4-square courts, 2 wall balls, 2 full-size basketball courts, and one of them can be converted into pickleball courts.
I agree. Next slide has to do with our expanding food service. This last year the state went to free lunch for all students. This year we added breakfast. And it took some shuffling, some hiring, and it started off, with, I guess, wrinkles, but we've ironed them out. I joked it went from 2 to 62 breakfasts in a week at Buena Vista. Now we're up to about 105. And you know what? If you can't see them, that middle picture is homemade, like, fruit parfaits. So Carrie Gomez, and they make them for the kids, and they're a big hit. And to the right, that's the box truck that we purchased. And I want to thank Jaime. Jaime is our head maintenance. He drives that in the morning. And it's worked out really well. Again, at first, it was trying to figure out when we were going to serve it, try to encourage more kids, but it went from 2 to 105 in less than a month. So, and our overall counts for lunch are way up. Pre-pandemic, we were probably a good day at Buena Vista was about 40. Now they're up to about 100. And the elementary school is usually about twice that much. I think Susie said about 160 breakfasts, 190 lunches, and it's going smoothly, or it's expanding. Next slide. Of all the years I've been here, I think one of the best decisions the board and the district's made is to bring in site-specific counselors. It's made such a world of difference. Here's an example to the left. That goes out to all the parents. It talks about the different services, having that face on campus every day for crisis or just to get to know the kids. They're pushing into classes, introducing themselves. They're going to do some, both are credentialed teachers, which is a nice thing because they have presentation skills as well. But we have 2 wellness centers. The middle picture is actually the Spreckels Elementary, and it looks like a very relaxing place. And then the flyer to the right is what has been advertised to kids on the slides. So again, we're so lucky to have Ms. Santiago and Mrs. Flowers, and I see a lot of nodding heads because we all feel the same way. What also feels normal is the re-engagement of the community. We're having in-person back to school. We're having collaborate events from our parent groups that we saw last time. First day of school, the kinder and TK parents, our PTO hosted a coffee for them. And it does. There's smiles. There's a few masks, which is fine. And there's a lot without. But Dr. Chris, who's not here, asked me, he heard that one of his colleagues in Monterey that the kids that were choosing to wear masks were getting a bad time. And are you seeing that here? And I go, no, it's your choice. If you wear one, you're fine. If not, so I'm just real proud of our kids. Because when I heard that was happening elsewhere, I was like, oh, it's, no, that's not us. And we're going to have the return of the carnival and farmers market. It's going to be on a Friday. Is that correct? Okay. We're going to try something new Friday night. So on the 30th, hopefully everybody will be here for that. And the last one is just a return to the fun stuff. And Jen talks about how we're going to try to expand it. But to the left is the bucket filling assembly Teresa gives yearly. The middle is the list of activities the students are asked to choose, including link mentoring. And then the right was just some students the first week going outside and doing some math or science. So again, return to normalcy, Steve. I agree, and it feels good. The last thing I want to do, correspondence was shared with me, and a little background. June 30th, when all those budgets and LCAPs are due, they all go to the Monterey County Office of Education, which is basically our oversight, our fiscal oversight. And I'd like to brag about our district, and especially our CBO. Out of 24 districts, we were the only one who turned in a balanced budget for 3 years. That's pretty good fiscal oversight. And I received a letter from Dr. Stanley, who is the chief business official of the MCOE. So she's the person that is the final step in fiscal accountability. It was a letter of commendation for Veronica. Veronica's very humble, but she has one of the best reputations in the county. She's the go-to for the other newbies. And I'll just read it verbatim. Veronica Flournoy is the chief business official for Spreckels Union School District. She has been a valued employee for the district for 18 years. While Veronica has been consistently great at her job, which has been observed many times by me during my tenure as CBO of Monterey County Office of Education, I wanted to extend a special shout out this year for her excellent work in putting together a budget that projects no deficit spending in either the current nor the 2 subsequent years. Spreckels Union School District, under Veronica's direction and guidance, was the only district in Monterey County that submitted an approved budget for 22-23 that was, as we call it in business vernacular, balanced. I commend Veronica, I got a little shout out, Superintendent Trollo and the board for their commitment to educational excellence as evidenced by this balanced budget. A budget without deficit spending ensures that the district programs being provided for the students will not be in jeopardy. As the fiscal oversight agency, this gives us great confidence that the district will continue to make necessary decisions concerning ongoing revenues and expenditures to ensure it is always able to meet its financial obligations and maintain long-term fiscal health. With gratitude, Dr. Stanley. So, good job, everybody. Veronica. 1 out of 24 is not bad. I mean,
The others, eh?
I don't know names, but there's some other ones that get a lot more money. But
All the others are the names.
so well done, everybody.
All right. Buena Vista Middle School. Is this thing on? Buena Vista Middle School.
Oh, really? Musical chairs of the mics. All right. Well, we are off and running, and we've been in school for 3 full weeks now, which is crazy. We, this week, introduced sports back into the mix. We have soccer, girls and boys volleyball. 6th grade girls is going to start volleyball in a few weeks. 7th grade girls volleyball, 8th grade girls volleyball, and cross country, all happening right now. And this year we all are recognizing our coaches by hiring them and paying them a stipend. And so that has been wonderful to pay our 7th and 8th grade teams that way and get more parent involvement, but say thank you back in a monetary way. So it's been nice seeing all the sports out there. Tryouts are starting to post, so cuts will be posted for some of those, but not all teams will be cutting. We have all of our programs starting back right now. So we have choir and band starting right after Labor Day weekend on Wednesday for choir, and then in the mornings for our band program. So that's exciting. We had quite a few sign up. So last year, I think, was our largest enrollment in band and choir, and we're looking to have that same trend this year. So all these enrichment activities are really getting picked up by the community, and it's great to see everybody over involved and doing all these things. Our trimester activities have now started. Our activity class is the very end of the day for 30 minutes. It's an elective class that students get to pick. All of our 6th grade students get enrolled in a study hall, and then our 7th and 8th grade students get to pick their first 3 choices of trimester activities. So like yoga, basketball, study hall, algebra is being offered, not as a course for the high school, but just an enrichment math class. So a variety of classes are being offered, and kids have now had a full week of those classes. And then we're just getting in the swing of things. Kids are getting organized, and I don't see as many lost faces on campus. Their schedules are a little bit more at ease now. We're not doing a rotating schedule this year, so it helps out a bit. We have a new green team this year that is helping at lunchtime. They help reduce the amount of food waste that our campus has and recycling. And these kids are jumping right in, literally into the trash cans with gloves and with aprons. And they're willingly doing it. First day I gave a Bobcat bucket, but then they wanted to do it on their own. So that's been really exciting. As Mr. Tarallo mentioned, our food program has really kicked off. Today we had 95 lunches and 106 breakfasts. That's a third of our school. So it's really being utilized, and we do breakfast first thing in the morning, and are not having a trash problem. The first day we found cereal on the ground, but then it really cleared up. Besides that, we are really off and running. The kids are smiling, and it's a great start to the school year. So thank you, everybody.
I have a question for you.
Yes.
Is it true that band is starting at a different time?
Band is starting slightly earlier. It's going to start at 7:15. So with our transportation, we wanted to give band a more maximum amount of time. So we're just bumping it a little bit
And
earlier.
that's Mrs. Thompson.
Same.
Yeah.
Mrs.
Shout out
Thompson.
to Mrs. Thompson.
Yes, shout out to Mrs.
I'll,
Thompson.
I'll explain why when we get to transportation because
Yeah, but I just wanted to mention Mrs. Thompson.
No, she's really
That's
grown that.
amazing.
Mhm.
That is amazing.
And this year we will have the option to close the pavilion doors on cold mornings. So last year with COVID, we had to keep those doors open all the way throughout the winter, and now we have a little bit more flexibility. But yeah, she's taken that program and ran with it. It's been wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank you. Spreckels Elementary.
Hi, everyone. I just want to echo that it's been a really good start. It feels it just feels good and it's invigorating. And everyone is excited, the kids, the teachers, the parents, and it's been really nice. And I know we're live streaming, so I want to say a big thank you to our PTO and lots of parents, because we have a special growth mindset assembly tomorrow. It's called NED. Never give up, encourage others, do your best. NED. And it's a really fun assembly. We did it quite a few years ago. And the people who come entertain while they teach messages to the kids, and they do some magic and they do yo-yos. And so you can either, to pay for the assembly, you either pay it forward and sell some yo-yos, which nobody had time to do at school, or purchase them. And they weren't cheap. And PTO put it out there, and it was covered. Parents donated and covered all the yo-yos, so we have enough for everybody, and the kids are going to have a lot of fun and hopefully keep that message inside. So big shout out to parents for participating in that. And our parent volunteer program is ready to go. Teachers are putting lists together, and parents will be in helping out very soon, and that's exciting too. And I also wanted to just share that back to school night is next Wednesday, and so we have 2 sessions. So if you have more than one child, you can hit both of them and not feel like you have to choose. And then we'll have an information fair in the auditorium with all our resource staff, and Mrs. Thompson will be signing up choir members, and our art teacher will be here, and all those kinds of things for parents. So it'll be a nice evening, and it'll get a great way to bring everybody back on campus. So I'm excited about that. And I just wanted to finish my report with just saying how the teachers are, and how incredible they are, and what they do without really even thinking about it, and how hard they work to get school started, and what an incredible job they're doing. They put together, on my request, a little welcome to parents, because I wanted parents to meet all the teachers, because they don't always know who's who. And so they put a video together, and a big shout out to Ryan Kellogg, because he edited it for us. It's 11 minutes, and I'm not going to have you watch the whole thing, but I promise to share the link with you. But we are going to play just the little snippet of the beginning, and it's just so serendipitous because Mr. Price is in the audience. So we'll show you just a little bit so you have the idea, but the most important part is that we have an incredible staff, and I'm very, very proud of them, and they have a great start to school, so thank you.
Hi, welcome to TK. We really love doing arts and crafts at TK. I hope you're going to enjoy it too. Do you like doing arts and crafts?
I love arts and crafts, as you can see.
This is our self-portrait. We haven't decided who it's going to be yet, but I can't wait for you guys to join us. See you soon.
Bye.
Hi, welcome. I'm also the kinder teacher, where me and Miss Castillo love to do arts and crafts. We're working on our latest masterpiece. I can't wait for you guys to join us. Well, we're heading into the other TK classroom, room 22. Let's check it out. I know she just got here, and she's starting to set things up. Let's see. Wait. Oh, there they are. Hi.
Hi.
What do you guys?
Miss Long.
Oh, hi, Miss Long.
And I'm Mrs. Dominguez.
Nice to meet you, Miss Dominguez. What are you guys doing?
We're putting together a puzzle.
Oh, looks like a ladybug. And what else?
I have a butterfly.
Awesome. Is it hard?
It can be difficult for some.
Can I do puzzles if I go to TK?
Yes, when you come to TK, you can do puzzles like this, or even ones that are more difficult. You get to choose.
Oh, it sounds so much fun. Well, thanks for seeing me.
Of course, can't wait to seeing you.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh, we're in Miss Hemingway's class. This is awesome. Oh, wait. There's Miss Hemingway now.
Hi, guys. I'm Miss Hemingway. I'm one of the kindergarten teachers. And as you can see, I'm doing something we call number bonds, which you're going to be doing a lot of in kindergarten. It's just like addition, but in a different way. So we're going to have lots of fun with math this year. See you soon.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
We're on our way to Miss Felice's classroom. Mrs. Felice is in this room, which is room 2. Let's see what's going on in here. Wow. Oh, wait. There's Miss Felice. She's doing something. Hi.
Hi,
What's going on?
I'm playing with the Super Kids.
Who are the super kids?
The Super Kids are a group of kids just like you that help us learn to read and write.
Oh, I see you have a lot of them there.
Yeah, there's a lot of them to meet, and I can't wait for you to come and meet them.
Well, thanks for seeing us.
See you soon.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Thank you for that. All right, do we have anybody from SUF tonight? I don't see anybody. How about PTO? And Bobcat Club? No. All right, moving on. No. Moving on to August fund balance report.
This fund balance report represents the first 2 months of activity, and the really interesting variance from last month is that we have our final hiring in place, so the encumbrances for salaries and benefits created an increase to the available unencumbered pocket. As you remember, when we adopt the budget, we place any vacancy at the highest cost that they can come in, the highest health and welfare, and then when the final hiring all kind of falls out, it may be different from that, just depending on who comes in. So you'll see the next budget revision, which will true that up. We'll bring it to you at the October board meeting. And along with aligning the final hiring, we'll also bring in all the revenues that we presented to you with the 45-day revision last month. Those revenue changes that came from the adopted state budget. Any specific questions about this, please don't hesitate to reach out.
Let me see. Michael, do you have any questions?
No questions, thank you.
Stephanie, do you have any questions? Jen, do you have any questions?
No.
I don't have any questions. So let's move on to program updates. We have 3 of them, starting with facilities.
Now, just very quickly on the facilities, we did issue the notice of completion for the Buena Vista project, as you could see from the kids out there using it just right before school started. We do still have the outstanding mural project, which is scheduled to happen over the Thanksgiving break. We wanted to have it during a time when there were no students, and that was the first next available timeline. And yesterday, Eric and I met with the Sicerco Energy team that has presented to the Facilities Committee a couple of times. They did the energy efficiency audit, and they are on the last phase of the project. We would like to bring the summary report to the Facilities Committee again to sort of wrap this up and make some determination about what the next steps may be. And we have that Facilities Committee structure as a future agenda item on this packet, so maybe we can make that determination after we get through that item and schedule our next meeting.
Moving to food service.
The main thing is just participation has just been incredible. We've definitely had some bugs to iron out, but I want to thank all of the folks that are on the front line, between Susie, Autumn, Carrie, Gina, the people who every day are facing these hundreds of kids that are coming through. They've just been so positive, and they've really been problem solving, and it's been a little bit challenging, but it's really quite something to see this happening. We will be continuing to make adjustments. Salina City's been supporting the program that we're trying to execute, because obviously it's so different with us delivering our own meals. One of the first expenditures we're going to pick up in terms of what was not budgeted, and you'll see that also in October, we need another milk cooler, because we're serving so much more milk than we have capacity for, and the milk delivery can't do a daily delivery to us, so we're going to be investing in a second milk cooler for here at Spreckels School, which I think will be a wise investment. Even if we move to a self-op at some point in the future, we're going to need that equipment. Stop by and see it. Check out the breakfast service or the lunch. It's really quite something.
Okay, and then to transportation.
So on the transportation side of the house, the vacancies have created the biggest obstacle, but I will commend Heather Brodell, our transportation assistant coordinator. She has done many scenarios with route adjustments as needed, so we're ready to go if for some reason we're down another driver for whatever reason. We've got some messaging ready. There was some question posed to Eric about the new funds coming into the transportation program.
Yeah, before that, since we're live streaming, I want to thank the community for their understanding. I've already had to send out 3 messages or so, or maybe more, saying routes had to be reconfigured one more time mildly, because we are working with maybe 60% of a crew, and it's getting difficult. Heather, again, a shout out to her because she's making it work. You're going to see later on, I think, a proposal for cameras on the buses. And that actually came from the bus drivers themselves to increase the safety and security. So, again, it's a great team of bus drivers. We just have a state and national shortage of bus drivers. So we've taken some steps to make it more attractive, and we're going to continue to try to fill those positions. But yes, Stephanie, you had mentioned, go ahead, your question about the fees?
I had reached out to Eric because I know at the state level that there had been some funding that came down for transportation. And so, with that additional funding, what were some options that we can do? I know we have a driver shortage, but also, having a discussion possibly of passing some of that savings on to families, because there is a cost to families participating in the transportation. So that's what I had reached out.
Sure.
About
Yeah, we
for
could
discussion.
have that. We probably should talk about at some point our transportation priorities. I think how much extra did we get? Like 15 or 16?
It was less than $15,000.
But that could go to pass on to the parents. Could help with the cameras. It could. I think the transportation program still encroaches, though. Correct?
Yes.
Yeah. So we could, if you'd like to have a further or a follow-up conversation, we can. We could run some scenarios of what to do with that money, or whatever you guys want to do.
$14,786 at the time we did the projection, and at this time the calculator that comes up with final apportionment was not released by the state. It has subsequently been released, and we'll be using that at the final hiring budget revision that we'll bring you in October. So we should be able to refine that number.
The only thing I would recommend is to stay away from staffing with that, because 1, it's not a big pot of money, 1. 2, it could go away in subsequent years at some point. And then, so I think you need to figure out how to budget staffing when it comes to transportation.
Separate from.
Through base grant or what other ways you can, but not through that.
Right.
The other thing that this first time ever increase to the program does require a transportation plan, be board approved by April. So there's definitely work
to be done
ahead of us
All
on this topic.
Okay, was that it for transportation?
Just the last point is, again, in a small community, we have so many, one program affects the other. In the case of music, because of the lack of our bus drivers, we had to work with the music program. So thank you to Ms. Thompson again for being willing to come not at 7:30 but at 7:15. And thank you for the parents and the kids that come, because we do have a thriving music program, but we're asking them to get there pretty early. So again, everything in a small district, dominoes, right?
Just make sure. We had 3 reports on program update. Mike, do you have any follow-up questions?
No.
Stephanie?
Yes, sorry. Yes, I do have questions. So I wanted to follow up about the cubbies. Well, because I think it sounds like something has happened in the changing rooms or locker rooms, or do we have cubbies?
The cubbies are ordered. I think we're just waiting for it's that. Yeah.
Okay.
Right now, everything's been cleared out. Kids can use the rooms, and they're starting to use them next week, but they won't actually store their clothes in there for the entire duration. So we're still going to use the rooms. They've been fitted. We have a male fitting room and a
Right.
female fitting
But even that's progress, right? Like, I mean, huge progress, right?
Thank you.
Yeah, so the fact that the teachers have all had access, we have never had two full-size PE classes all week using them. And prior to this, we had some smaller locker rooms, and it would not be doable with the smaller locker rooms. So this makes everything very doable.
Jen, did you have any questions?
No.
Any more questions, Mike?
No, thank you.
Stephanie?
And the other question about kind of facilities, is there an update on the toilet project?
The Spreckels toilet project? No, there's no update.
Jen, did you have any other questions about program update? Mike, did you have any questions?
No.
Stephanie, did you have any other questions?
I did, about the food service. Have we started planning for next year? Because I know we've been talking about it for several months, and obviously it sounds like things are going really well this year, but it's only going to.
We're reaching out to other smallish, districts in the county office, and do you want to share your conversation?
Yeah, I had a conversation with the county office on Tuesday, asking what they did, how do they have a live kitchen, how do they provide their meals. They actually contract with Alisal. Prior to their agreement with Alisal, they worked with Santa Rita, and their recommendation was to reach out to school services through our consortium. We have a consortium with the county, all the districts within the county, to get support from School Services of California and request some guidance in terms of bringing the consultant in, bringing someone in to make a recommendation of the best practice and how to make this happen. It's going to be a big lift, and I think that's where we'd like to start. So we'll be presenting a proposal to you for what school services may need to do that review for us.
Okay.
We'll have it by October.
Jen, did you have any other questions?
No.
Mike, did you have any?
No.
Stephanie, did you have any?
No.
I don't have any. Let's move on. Class configurations.
So this is the report, just the summary page since last week, and you can see since August 10th to August 25th, we're exactly 929. There has been movement within sites, but our enrollment is holding steady.
Okay. Mike, did you have any questions about that?
No.
Stephanie? No. Jen?
Nope.
I don't either. Quarterly county treasurer's report.
It's routine in nature. This is through period June 30th of 2022.
Mike, did you have any questions?
No.
Stephanie? No. Jen?
No.
I don't either. Moving on to action, unaudited actuals. I'd like a motion, please.
So moved.
It's been moved.
Second.
Seconded. And this is for the year ending June 30th, unaudited actuals, including presentation of balance in excess of minimum reserve requirements. Staff, go ahead and speak to it before we have any questions or debate.
Sure, as you know, it's a 150-page document, and
Yeah, I know.
after all these years, Veronica's now I understand it's probably the most important document because it takes a look at what you projected and what you spent. And getting back to that fiscal responsibility, we're within 3%, on the right side of 3%, which is great. Veronica's going to provide an overview of the document, but I also received some questions from a board member, so the questions and the answers are here. So I'm going to let everybody take a look, and if you want to have a follow-up conversation on any of those questions after the presentation.
Okay. Thank you.
So I'd like to start on page 189 of the board packet. It is the summary page of the report, and it basically walks us through. In the beginning, we started the year with 6.1 million beginning fund balance. We brought in $11.1 million on the revenue side, which, as Eric said, in our budget projection, we received 2% more than we budgeted for, so we understated our revenues, which in my view is a conservative practice. On the expenditure side, we spent $11.8 million, and that projection was 3% under, which meant that we overstated our expenditures compared to our actuals. Also a conservative budgeting characteristic. And with all that said, our ending balance for the year looks to be 5.4 million. Within that 5.4, there are components of dollars, if you will, that need to be identified. Some cannot be spent. For example, there's a non-spendable category. That $80,000 includes our revolving cash fund, which is $2,500. And it also includes the $78,000 that we use to pay July health and welfare for our staff. We pay it in June, but we post it as prepaid expenditures against our books because we haven't actually actualized the expenditure. Pulling that off the reserve, we go into the $743,000 of restricted funds. This column are these rows from row 11 to 21 are the detail of that $743,000. Those are all the various resources, programs that we can only spend those funds within the parameters of that program. So we identify them in the ending balance as restricted dollars. Then we get down to the total available reserve that is in the unrestricted side of the budget. And within that, we make designations, we substantiate need. You can see the first one is the 4% reserve for economic uncertainty. That is a statutory requirement. And years ago, the board made a budget guideline stating that we would increase that 4% to 7.5%. It was during the years of the crash, 2008. Cash was of a premium. So we did a calculation. What would 2 months worth of payroll look like if we were in a cash crunch? So that's when we increased that reserve level to 7.5%. We have since then increased our salaries substantially, and I would propose a conversation at our next budget guideline when we start doing budget development for the 2023-24 year, which will be in January. We should review that guideline and see if, in fact, we shouldn't increase it from the additional 3.5%. And my calculation based on current salaries, to cover 2 months worth of salary, we should consider an increase to 11%. Cash isn't necessarily the issue with the revenues coming in the state the way they are, but at the very least we should review that guideline, and if we are holding true to the purpose of it, which was 2 months worth of salary, or maybe we're comfortable with it being 1 month worth of salary. And that timeline was sort of selected because if you were in a crunch for cash for payroll, it could take 30 to 60 days to do what they call a trans, which is a temporary revenue anticipation note. You borrow against your future property tax. They're very low interest. We've never had to do it, but it's just something that is good to have in place or have an understanding of in case something were to ever happen. So after those reservations, the remaining funds are designated in needs that we've either committed to already. For example, the toilet room replacement project, there's a balance left on that project of $105,000. The BV track improvements represent the closeout costs for the landscape architect, which is $58.87. And I designated $5,000 for the mural. I don't know that that will come in at $5,000. We're waiting to see because the Bobcat may even support some of that. And we just, through the list, identify the things that we've determined to be a priority. The ones with the asterisks are either committed through a contract or through a liability to employees. For example, compensated absences, that represents the vacation balances of our staff. So if folks decide to move on, we would owe them their vacation balances. The underground storage tank is the project that was a Superfund EPA project from many, many years ago. It's probably 5 or 6 years ago that we were successful in closing out that project, and we were reimbursed through the Superfund $52,000, which Teresa and I have talked many times about utilizing those funds to enhance that, which is that area that's just dirt and grass right now, making it some sort of paved place where folks wait for their kids at the end of the day. And then the other items speak for themselves. The Common Core material adoption, they're piloting science right now, device refresh, preschool early intervention grant. So that is it. That's one page of 365 days of transactions, nearly $12 million worth of funds moving through to support our programs.
Thank you. Let's see what the board has. Mike, do you have any questions about the unaudited actuals?
No, I don't. Thank you.
Stephanie?
No, I don't have any question, but I appreciate the walkthrough of that. That was really helpful because, certainly I can look at it, but having you walk through each item, added value to it. So I appreciate that. Thank you.
Jen?
I never thought I'd say this, but thank you for being so conscientious about coming under rather than over. I have a hard time with that myself. So
I
thank
know
you.
how many of our home budgets come up in 3% of projections.
Right. Thank you for your work. That's all I have to say. All those in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
I'm an aye as well. Any nays? Any abstentions? Motion carries 4-0-1. We got board plate here, resolution on the GAN limit every year. I need a motion, please.
So moved.
It's been moved.
Second.
Seconded. This is a roll call vote. Staff, do you need to speak to it all, or can we just go ahead and roll into the vote?
I think you can go ahead. It's just,
Yeah.
yeah.
Any questions from the board on this? We see this every year since 1979, I think, or something like that. Okay. Chris is absent. Jen?
Aye.
I'm an aye. Stephanie?
Aye.
And Mike's an aye. Oh, Mike, what are you?
Aye.
Shouldn't assume, right? I've been up since 4, sorry. Okay, that being said, the motion carries 4-0-1. Another boilerplate one we see quite often, the cafeteria fund transfer. I need a motion, please.
So moved.
It's been moved.
Second.
And seconded. Staff, I don't think you have anything on this. Go ahead and go through the roll call vote. Chris is absent. Jen?
Aye.
I'm an aye. Stephanie?
Aye.
Michael?
Aye.
Motion carries 4-0-1. Next up is Spreckels Union School District Transportation Fleet Camera Installation Proposal Bus Sales. And I need a motion on that first, please.
So moved.
It's been
Second.
moved and seconded. Staff?
Other than this, again, this came from the bus drivers themselves, so Ron can walk through the proposal.
Yeah, Heather brought this to us. We've been talking about it for a very long time, actually, and probably was really moved forward during COVID when things were a little challenging in terms of assigning seats and I think that it would support the drivers to have a camera to support the behavior on the buses.
Yep.
Because it's an unsafe situation if there's behavior that they need to address, obviously. They know what to do. They pull over, they stop. If it's something they can't manage and they communicate with Teresa and Kate. I know that the principals have both gotten on buses when issues have happened and tried to address things. And my hope is that even with the kids, it would make some of them feel safe, knowing that there are buses that, for some of those kids that maybe sometimes don't necessarily feel. I mean, we're putting kindergartners on with 8th graders. It's a big age range. And I think the drivers do a fantastic job of separating according to age and such. But yeah, this would be a good improvement for them.
Remember when my kid was a 7th grader riding the bus back here to town? And it was a mixed group, olders and youngers, on that route at that time. Some of the 8th graders were inappropriate with the little ones. I just remember Dougie McDougal became the bus monitor for a moment there. Then we had to have a meeting with Mr. Tarallo to talk about letting the adults do their work.
I remember that.
Anyways.
Yep.
That's how my kid's wired. All right, anyways, any questions from the board on this? Mike?
No.
Stephanie?
Just a comment. I think, like Veronica was saying, not only for the students themselves feeling safe and comfortable, but also for the families. 'Cause I've heard from families, too, that they've had concerns of sending their children on the bus and concerns about bullying, et cetera. So I think it makes a lot of sense.
Mm-hmm. Yep. That's what he was trying to regulate that day. Jen?
Yeah, I just hope moving forward that the kids will understand that there's behavior to be had on the bus and that we'll do better, right? As our theme is, do better, and they'll get there, and hopefully these cameras help.
Yeah. Put the sign up, smile, you're on camera. It'll speak for itself.
Yep.
Thank you. With that, all those in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
I'm an aye as well. Motion carries 401. School sports annual backstop inspection. And I need a motion, please.
So moved.
It's been moved.
Second.
Seconded. Staff?
This is the proposal that came after the inspection. They came out during the summer and inspected our backstops at both of our sites. And this represents the corrective actions that they are recommending. The majority of it is really the two things. There's the safety latch they want to install on the BV backstops that move up and down, the ones that are in the pavilion. And then they want to replace these bolts and hardware, also the ones in the pavilion. I think that this would be a great investment, and it might even be eligible that Keenan, through our property loss, there's a very small matching grant. So if we move forward with this, I will submit this for eligibility for the grant. It's a reimbursement type program. You have to spend the money, and then if it qualifies and you've done all of your steps ahead of time, you can get, I think for a district our size, it might be $5,000 to $10,000 or something, or sometimes up to $10,000, 50% of the project. So I believe this was 13 in total, 12,000 in total. So if we got 6 back, that would be pretty cool.
Okay. Any questions, Mike?
No.
Stephanie? No. Jen?
Nope.
I don't have any either. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 401. Next up, School Outfitters Outdoor Tables Proposal for Spreckels Elementary TK Program. I need a motion.
So moved.
It's been moved.
Second.
And seconded. Staff?
More TK students.
More stuff.
More tables, yeah.
More stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Any questions, Mike?
Nope.
Stephanie?
No.
Jen?
No.
Me neither. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
I'm an aye as well. Motion carries 401. Next up, California Custom Shed Storage Shed Proposal for Spreckels Elementary School Play Equipment. Motion?
So moved.
It's been moved.
Second.
And seconded. Staff? Anything on this?
Same logic. This is for the TK as well.
Oh, is it?
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Teresa.
Yeah, this is really coming off for the play equipment
For everybody?
that everybody uses.
Right, okay.
Yeah, to just have an organized. We had great success with this vendor. We did build a shed, or they did build us a shed that's in the kinder area.
Yeah.
But this is for play equipment.
All right.
Mrs. Sherpinsky, can I?
Did you? Yeah.
Yeah, I have a question. We had stuff like stored in a room somewhere, right?
We have it stored in the old bathroom.
That bathroom. Yeah.
So some of it's in there, some of it's outside, and some
Oh.
so it's really hard to keep organized and get to. And if we have a shed out by where the kids play, it's really nice.
This will maximize recess time. I was always okay with that when I was in elementary school. So more cowbell.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Any questions, Mike?
No.
Stephanie?
No.
No.
Jen? I don't have any questions either. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
I'm an aye as well. Motion carries 401. Curriculum and Instruction Information Action Imagine Learning Science Instructional Materials Grades TK through 5 Pilot. Motion, please.
So moved.
It's been moved.
Second.
Seconded. Staff.
Teresa, do you want to speak to this?
So
Did you want
I'm sorry.
to? I think
Yeah.
we're broadcasting around the planet and beyond.
We, the staff would like to had asked to do one more science pilot. We've done 2, so we are doing our 3rd, which is Imagine Learning Twig Education. And they just happen to be a company that does not give free materials for pilots. So we kind of worked out a deal, and they gave me 6 free pilots, and we needed 7. So we have to pay for 1 so that everybody can use it. So I think it's a nice deal because $800 instead of 8 times 6 is a really nice savings. So,
Yeah.
Are there any questions? I'll stay here if you have questions.
Mike, did you have any questions?
I do not.
No?
No.
Stephanie?
No.
Jen?
No.
You sure?
Yeah.
Look like you did.
You can just talk about it all day. But
Oh, we get
She likes
started.
science.
All right. I'm going to yield the mic. All right, I don't have any questions either. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
I'm an aye as well. Motion carries 401. We have nothing under personnel tonight. And under administration, information, committees update, facilities committee.
Right, this was a topic that I was asked to come back and do a little research and come back with some, well, I guess discussion points. So we reached out to them, so their facility person, and asked, what usually, what comprises a facility committee, what's their purpose, what's their scope, and with that, Veronica, you want to walk us through? Oh, I'm sorry, and let me pass out. We're referring to goal number 5, so if you want to pass that down.
So this is just our first, this 6 bullets for what we're recommending, to establish the purpose, what exactly is the scope, the mission, if you will, of the committee. And then from there, that will lead us to what the schedule is. Or one of the considerations could be, is it a standing committee, we meet every month, or do we meet as needed and as projects, which is sort of the structure that we've been under, is that we meet as capital improvement projects come forth. And what is the oversight of the committee? Is it capital improvements only, or is it maintenance? For example, does the committee review the roof repair, or the floor replacements in the classrooms when we're doing new linoleum or carpet? Those are conversations I think the committee should have under the preference of the board. Like the board give the committee that directive, if you will, or how they would like to see the committee function. We've defined the membership to include as currently 2 board members, the superintendent, CBO, the site principals, and the lead maintenance. And in doing, well, again, determining if it's an ad hoc committee of the board, then it will be in Brown Act territory. We will have to agendize, take minutes, post, which is not a difficult thing. It's just another step. And it's actually creates for really good record keeping when you do
organically
follow the Brown Act. So, and then within the committee, obviously we would continue to follow our best practices, whether it's the bid thresholds or something we do. I mean, you could see it on this agenda. You see the ratification of contracts in all scales. I know this wasn't facilities, but just for example, Teresa's pilot, that was less than $900 for that instructional material. But it was never something we talked about within the developed budget, the adopted budget, which is why you see it as a standalone action item. But then when you get to consent, you'll see a whole bunch of contracts that, if you're ever curious why some are on consent and some are not, because those consent are within the budget that you've already adopted.
Got you.
So that's where we are, and I would love to hear the board's preference on how to move forward, and then I'd like to make that determination, schedule our first meeting, because we do have the CISERCO report that we want to share.
So just to be clear on what the exercise is right now, the staff is wanting some direction on the facilities committee as the frequency of a meeting, duration, whether it's going to be a regular meeting or as needed, and if the membership is status quo or is going to change, and then the scope of the work. And is that something you're looking for suggestions? It's not actionable tonight, but you're looking for some suggestions from the board on that tonight. Okay, I understand. Board understands? I'll start with Mike. Do you have any input on facilities committee?
So the question I guess I had in particular is about the maintenance versus the capital improvement, that decision. So that would be something that the board would have to decide?
I think staff wants to know what the scope is, I mean, not to sound condescending or anything, but is the facilities committee going to meet every time a toilet gets plugged?
Right.
Or is it going to meet when we need to maybe spend over a certain dollar amount that is in the budget, outside the budget? Is it going to be only capital outlay where we're contracting with somebody, bricks and mortar building something? I mean, that's kind of the extreme end, right?
Right.
Or is it something somewhere in between? And I think you're referring to scope, and I believe that's kind of what staff is looking for some direction on.
So, I mean, this is my opinion. I think definitely for capital improvement, because those are big expenses. But I would also say that I don't think the board should be in the business of, having to approve, day-to-day maintenance things. But if the district staff wanted board input on a certain maintenance project, that could be done, but I don't think it would be necessary for
I guess you
day-to-day
could,
maintenance.
if you were suggesting that, maybe set a dollar amount, like if it's maintenance that's going to cost over $10,000 or 50, I don't know what the dollar.
Or maybe
I'm just throwing it out there.
a certain percentage of the budget.
Like that's another way to go at it too, eh? And what part of the budget? Base grant, the whole enchilada, depends, right? So. Is this something we have to decide tonight, or can we
No,
just marinate
no.
on it another month?
I think what we'd like to do is decide who's going to be on it. If we're going to expand it, right now it's Jen, Steve, me, and Veronica.
Yeah.
If we want to expand it, that would be good because we'd like to call our first meeting within a couple of weeks.
Because you have some stuff. Or
Well,
you just,
the energy report specifically.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So I think in that piece, if we could, I would suggest this going forward is we approve the membership, have them meet, and then assign them to develop a charge and
Then
provide
bring it
more
back?
details.
And then bring it back to us
And bring it back to us.
to see if we like it or not.
Yeah.
Okay, that's one way to go about it. Let me move on to other board members, and then if you have more, Mike, I'll come back to you.
Thank you.
Stephanie, you have something on this?
Yeah, I think I like the idea of setting a threshold, whether it be dollar or percentage, on both items that are in the budget and items that are not in the budget. In regards to the stakeholders, I'd like to see more a parent involvement, and teachers. So really hearing from the ground level too, and hearing from those perspectives. So I'd like to see them to be included. I know we sent out an announcement recruiting for the oversight committee, so maybe something like that could be sent out, promoting the opportunity to become a part of the facilities committee. And then my other kind of question is, how does this relate, or does it relate to Goal 5 and kind of planning, like master planning, facilities planning, et cetera? So that's my question to the board too, for us to discuss.
Okay.
My turn?
Yep.
Okay. I see what you're saying with teachers and parents and things like that. So if that's going to be the plan, and I'm imagining you're going to want to be on the committee.
No, not necessarily.
I'm ready to step aside so you can go on.
There you
Yeah. So the thing that I have with that though is, timing-wise, I thought timing, right? So if teachers are going to be on this committee and you're going to meet regularly during the day, that's teacher work time. If we're going to have them come in the evenings, that's teacher work time. And during the day, parents work. So having them take a day off to be on this committee, I'm just thinking of the nitty-gritty details
So
of
might
how
be
to
a-
go about that.
Might be
So
an
if we
evening,
do
might
want
be an evening exercise.
an evening exercise where we're asking teachers to come in of their own time to be on this committee.
I have a suggestion on that. As far as getting staff input, that's what the principals could do on themselves. They could get the input of their staffs about what they consider priorities of facility priorities on the sites. And then principals would bring it to the
You
committee.
can do
But I
that
think
with a
Stephanie's
Google
saying she would
form.
prefer to
Yeah.
have teachers on the committee,
Okay.
right? Is that what you were saying?
That's what I
would.
heard, yeah.
Well, in comparison with the equity committee, we do have teachers who attend, and we have parents
During the day.
during the day.
4 o'clock.
So is
Oh, it's
that,
at 4 o'clock?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, that's outside the workday for teachers.
so you'd be asking teachers to do it outside their workday?
I guess if they want to
Or
participate.
provide release
Yeah,
time, which I don't.
yeah,
I don't know what the
Committee,
structure is
yeah.
for why they participate on the equity one, but
The equity committee, they do it. They sign up. They don't get paid for it. They volunteer because that's the passion of theirs. So
So you'd be asking teachers to do the same for
Does
them.
maybe I should
they're
ask Mr.
passionate.
Dodd, does the CBA
About
require
facilities.
committee service or anything like that?
no,
Okay.
it's just volunteers.
All right.
Reaching out to STA and say, would you want to have somebody on this committee? I guess that would be the first step.
Yeah, have a conversation
Yeah.
outside the meeting, see what he says. Yeah.
Okay.
Jen, did you already speak to this? I'm sorry, did you?
Yeah, that's what I was talking about.
That's
who would
right.
make up the,
Okay.
who would make it up. And I also agree with Michael's statements. Totally agree with you. Having some sort of idea of maybe anything over a certain amount. I agree we shouldn't be getting in the details of, are we going to hire a cleaner to clean a spot where a kid threw up? I don't, hopefully no kids throw up, but that kind of a thing.
But they do.
I agree.
Okay. So I'm not having nothing to add to. I'm just trying to facilitate here.
Yeah.
Getting back to Mike's idea about how are the rest of you, Jen and Stephanie, are you comfortable with forming the committee, which would also decides at least having it meet at least once to just figure out scope, right? And then once they do that, bring that back here for, action direction or whatever. Whether we, maybe massage what they come up with or accept what they come up with. So I think maybe then the task here for us is to determine who's on it
That's it.
and who might dictate when, as far as time of day goes.
Yeah.
Because if it's going to be staff that's assigned to students during the school day, then when has to be after the school day or before. But I'm an early bird, but most people aren't.
And working parents too.
Yeah, same problem
Yep.
to solve. So now I'm going to kick it back and say, we need to figure out the who, and then the who will probably organically dictate the when.
Yeah, that sounds good.
I have a suggestion. Because there is kind of a sense of urgency to look at this energy project, why don't we reconvene the current committee?
Okay.
So when I reached out to them, they said they have a 7-member board, and they have 3 people on it. And I asked why, and he says, the idea is to have those 3 kind of have consensus. So you're coming to the board with, the 3 of us are on board with this, present it. Doesn't mean it's going to pass, but it's building that initial consensus. So if the current committee meets, perhaps we could make recommendations based on this conversation to the board at the next meeting about who's in it, scope, since we've got feedback from everybody.
I'm trying to track you, but I'm getting
I
tired.
just, we would like to meet sooner than later, and sometimes building a committee takes some time by itself. I do want to expand.
So here is, you have something timely, and then because of that, current makeup, let's get that piece of business done. But in the meantime, for long term, is
Right. I like the idea of expanding
membership. Is everybody
membership,
okay with that?
And I'm just going to add one more thing regarding the equity committee. So taking into account families who might work during the day, we actually made it a virtual meeting, even beyond when we needed to be virtual.
Which
for COVID.
this could be virtual too.
Right.
It could be.
So
I just-
making those accommodations so that it is
During COVID,
accessible
they were
is really
virtual.
important.
Just
Yeah.
work days.
Yeah.
I know that, working 8 to 5, I can't take off
Yeah.
and come to a committee meeting, but
When
that I would love to be on.
When I think facility
Just
committee, I
something
also
to
think kind of
consider.
like on the ground, taking walks, tours
Yeah.
that are required during daylight hours, right?
Yeah.
I was in the car multiple times.
Yeah.
We have many parents that work full-time though, can't leave. No, that's it.
So is that a starting point? We could reconvene the 4, come back with a recommendation about the energy, but then come back with a recommendation about expanding the committee membership and some scope?
Yep.
We good?
You good?
Yeah. Yes.
Wait.
Okay. Everybody good?
Oh, just a question. And will the scope talk about the planning that is related to Goal 5?
Yeah, I think that's what the committee would say, come back and say, okay, the 4 recommend, based on the conversation we're having here, that
Okay.
the membership is expanded to include X, Y, whatever, and the threshold's going to be this, and I guess the objectives will be obviously this plus just the routine things. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I missed something really quick. Who's on the current committee that would be convening?
Jen, Steve, Veronica, and me.
Okay.
Well, it's been before me. It was Peter, and who else? I don't remember.
It was just one then. Yeah.
Might have been just Peter back
Yeah.
then.
We
Committee of 3, and then we expanded it to 4. What do we do if we have a split vote?
Well, a question. I mean, do we agree now with this list that's here? I mean, I just added to it. I didn't
Take away.
take any of these away.
Well, I don't
so
suggest
if
we
we all
take
agree
away.
with this list,
I don't suggest we take away,
right?
We
No,
were
and I
talking
don't
about
either.
but I do think you
So-
need to keep it an odd number, in case you decide to take a vote, and you have somebody tie break.
Right.
Yeah.
So do we want to consider approving this current makeup and then with the potential of adding
Yeah.
stakeholders?
Yeah,
That's fine. I mean, we could pull that group together. The one up there we could pull together pretty quickly.
I'm okay with that. Mike?
Yeah, I like that idea better than the.
And it sounds like Stephanie, you are.
I am.
And then Jen?
Yeah.
And I am too. How's that for,
Perfect. Kate, Teresa, get
direction?
ready for a meeting. Facilities.
Here we go. After this one.
yeah, just
It's
add,
going to stay all night.
you got room on your calendar for another meeting somewhere, maybe?
We can work.
No, that's, I like that. We'll expand a little bit and then we'll meet. Okay.
So are
Okay.
we just giving guidance here, or do we need to do a motion, a formal motion?
It's not actionable, so this is just a little guidance here to,
Okay.
You're just providing
so
some
that they
direction.
know what we kind of want to expect when it comes back, and then it can be actionable.
Right.
All right.
And so there, we're just saying, we're asking you, can you please have those members meet, and they'll do it?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
got it.
It's kind of wishy-washy, but it's not. If it was set down for action, then that'd be a little more concrete, right? But it's not, so.
Right.
Originally, there was never action on the facility committee.
Well,
We
I'm
never
just
said that-
saying, like, you know, if it doesn't happen, then what do we have?
Status quo, I guess.
This is more about, you know, our processes. I'm okay with it.
Well, do you want to bring it back in a month as action
No,
to give to the group?
I want them to move on. I'm good with it. I'm just.
Okay.
Yeah,
I mean, that's an option, though.
yeah.
Okay.
I
table
trust-
it.
I trust it'll get done, so I don't. have to-
Yeah. I'm pretty
We'll meet
confident
before the
it
next meeting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
will. All right.
Sorry, there were just so many pieces to that I got pulled into the ones we talked about. But also, I think it said on there about making it standing or
Yeah.
ad hoc. So do we want to give any
Well,
direction?
that's what Steve was saying, that depending on who's on it.
I think when they meet,
that.
that'll be a question for them, and then that'll be their recommendation to
Okay.
us for action,
Okay,
to accept that or not.
okay.
So it would be, they would decide, we kind of decided the personnel, right, just now, sort of, right? We're going to try. And they're going to decide scope and frequency of meeting, which would dictate whether it's Brown actable or not.
Right, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
We good?
I'll be reaching out soon for
Okay.
set up the first meeting.
How was this horse? Is it still breathing? Are we good? Are we good here?
I'm good.
No offense to horse lovers. Okay, moving on. Summer school report.
Mr. Price is our MVP tonight. He's been in
Oh,
every
alright.
picture. He's
Cool.
been in every video.
Is
So
there- is there a video?
I want to thank Mr. Price because I approached him to do summer school administration. He has an administrative credential, and I hope this didn't scare him away from administration.
Oh, no, it was a great experience. There we go. I love microphones. Yeah, I put a little presentation together for you to, oh, by the way, for those of you who don't know me, I'm Mr. Price. I've been here this is my 26th year. First grade mostly. This year I'm teaching TKK, which is quite an experience. It's a wonderful experience, actually. A lot of fun. Anyway, thanks for having me. Let me put this together for you. We started off the summer with a 4-week, just a little over 4-week program, about 4.5, I think. And we had quite a interest from the teachers on staff, which was excellent because we got a lot of experienced teachers. As you can see, I about 15 to 20, kind of averaged it, which is fantastic because it was, the teachers were highly motivated because a lot of them are going to be seeing these students in the future or have seen them. So they got to work with them in a smaller setting, and it was more personalized, and it was really rewarding. We started off the session with assessments, baseline assessments. Traditionally, summer school is a remedial program, so we wanted to kind of find out exactly where they are and go from there based on what the standards state. We started off at 8:30 in the morning, finished the day at 12:30. We had a single recess, and it turned out to be kind of a big, large group recess with all the teachers there. It was fun because we had the middle school and the younger kids getting together, and it worked out really well. Some of the teachers took it upon themselves to create reading buddies and kind of a mentorship, and it worked out really well because kind of motivated the middle school children, our students, to come because they enjoyed helping the little ones. And it was kind of funny because they also learned some things that they perhaps had forgotten or missed. Perhaps, yeah. It was Mrs. Deems, who was a third grade teacher here for a century. We got her to come back, and it was a really good experience. In fact, she had a couple of the students that I had during COVID, and I made a comment to one of them, and I said, "Wow, I hear you're doing some incredible learning." "Yeah, because she makes me." I said, "Perfect." So, yeah, and at the end of the summer session, we had a big water balloon toss, which turned into a water balloon fight. But it was fun. The kids really enjoyed it and looked forward to it. So you can see everybody's having fun. We used an existing curriculum, Zern, which worked out really well because they have a summer program and kind of condensed everything for each grade level, and it worked out well. It wasn't the entirety of the math program, but it was a substantial amount. Oh, what happened? Oh, Enamera is a program that we tried this year. And we kind of got a crash course on it really fast before we started. And it has some really good diagnostic tools in it, and I'd recommend using it again for the older students. I wouldn't recommend it for kinder, possibly first, but the diagnostic tools were right on. The problem we did find out was more technical because we realized that we definitely needed earphones that had the mic attached, because some students are very shy and they want to whisper, and it picks up on their speech. And that was kind of interesting, and it's a avatar teacher, and they'll say, "Can you say that again?" And it was interesting to watch the kids work on it. And it had a really good EL component too, so something to look at in the future. Kind of putting together these, the growth ranges were based on the baseline and the exit assessments. It was really, I think I saw more growth in the basic math that some of the kids were missing, and the writing skills with the middle school definitely improved from what I saw from the beginning. Also, Mrs. Deems did a really comprehensive assessment on sight words and words per minute. Actually, all the teachers, words per minute, increased exponentially. I think just having the smaller groups, minus a few behavioral issues, that, you know, really personal attention with the teachers who are experienced in teaching reading, helped out quite a bit and got a few of the kids caught up to where they should be. Let's see. Yeah, that's it. But I wanted to give you guys an opportunity to ask me any questions.
For that, Mike, do you have any questions about summer school?
I do not. Thank you for giving the report. I appreciate it. It
Yeah,
was pretty
my pleasure.
interesting.
Stephanie?
Yeah, no, thank you. This is what I wanted to see, you know, kind of post program, what kind of outcomes we had. So that's great. And then I have a question, but this might be more to Dr. Trollo about, is our bridging program or intervention program going to continue during the academic year?
Yeah, we're going to kick it off in October, actually. We're compiling data, and we got the first round of the state tests, and then we're going to go ahead and triangulate. But yes, we're going to try to organize it a bit, structure it a bit differently. So it's kind of, last year was kind of an experiment. We learned some lessons, but we are going to kick off tutoring in October.
Great.
That's a short answer.
Jen?
I heard so many great things about summer school, so thank you, Mr. Price. And I wanted to recognize how much you've appreciated the students and the staff. I think that makes such a difference, and it really stands out to me. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. It was my pleasure.
What stood out to me was 26 years.
I think.
Well, the last time I did summer school, I think, was second grade. No, actually, when it was quite a few years ago when Mr. Brady was here. That was the last time I did
Wow. Well, I like the idea of having the olders who might feel like they're stuck in summer school, at least initially, actually being part of the teaching and learning, and at the same time learning. And I think that's pretty cool.
Well, to be honest with you, the kids that were the most resistant at first were the ones who couldn't wait to get back.
And that's usually the case.
And they learned so much. And it was really nice because they were very empathetic and understanding. And it kind of it reminded me of back when we first started here, when we had the 8th grade at Spreckels.
Oh, yeah.
So, a long time ago. Anyway, thanks very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Really appreciate you doing it.
Alrighty. That brings us to Board Policy 6158, Independent Study.
So,
It's information, yeah.
it's informational. So, when the budget was adopted June 30th, with it came a whole new set of independent study requirements. So we're in the process of trying to align our current policy, which we passed literally last April, I believe, with the new rules. So what's in front of you are some of the new requirements that we need to integrate into our existing policy. We kind of had, our auditor said, everybody's in the same boat. Nobody really has a formalized policy yet, but document that you are working towards that. And that was kind of the message, right? So this is just independent studies when a student's out for 3 or more days for, could be COVID. The changes are COVID related. But, last year they threw in some rules about synchronous instruction and asynchronous, which made it a little tougher. So again, we're going to take this next round of requirements and come back with a new policy that conforms to all the rules.
Okay.
That's all that was.
Alrighty. Any questions on that? Nope. Okay. Move us to action here. Citizens Bond Oversight Committee membership. Let's get a motion first.
So moved.
It's been moved. And seconded, staff.
Yeah, we mentioned we're going to reconvene. There's that final amount of money we need to spend. And so we had 3 returners. The OGs on there that are the asterisks. And then I reached out to the community and asked for volunteers and filled all but 1. So in our bylaws, there's categories. And we've never been able to fill the bona fide taxpayer. Is there one in Spreckels boundaries? I don't even know.
Not to my knowledge. I
So,
mean, there's
yeah.
the statewide Jarvis one.
So, and if you approve this, then we're going to go ahead and meet soon and get it going.
Okay.
Names with the familiar people are looking
Yes,
at.
I'm so happy.
Yeah.
Well, I'm mostly happy.
Okay.
Not 100% happy. He knows who he is. Yeah. All right. Mike, did you have any questions on this before we take action?
No.
Stephanie?
No.
Jen?
No.
Me neither. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
I guess I'm an aye as well. Motion carries 401. Tell Dr. Elizondo I said hello.
Yeah.
All right. If he's listening, hello, Fernando. All right, let's move on. Oh my gosh, it's consent time. Does anyone want to pull anything, like everything, and discuss everyone, or do we just want to move it?
I move that we approve consent items.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
I'm an aye as well. Motion carries 401. Future agenda items. I did hear staff mention that when we get to January, when we start to work on the budget, we'll examine whether we want to increase our reserve. Anything else want to be added, Mike?
No.
Stephanie?
Follow up to our self-evaluation.
Oh, actually, we're ready for that. We have the results. So I was going to meet with Steve to figure out the best way to roll out to the board.
Okay.
Yeah.
So perfect.
So future agenda item, contingent upon me meeting with you?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll take you to lunch or something. All right, anything else, Jen?
I don't think so.
Okay. I need one motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
I'm an aye as well. We are adjourned at 8:29 p.m. Thank you.